all the way from New York City. We got Hot 97's
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Culture, who is joining us
Yeah.
today. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, and I know that you're a very busy person. You were talking about how you were helping your son get ready for school. A lot of parents have a lot of anxiety right now because of what's happening with school. So, how are you and your family coping with this new situation that we're in?
You know, it's really crazy. I mean, we're all taking it day by day and trying to figure it out. They actually just pushed the school date back in terms of when the public schools start. I'm wondering, my son is not in the public school, but I'm wondering if he's going to get pushed back as well. We haven't received notice yet, but now the school starting date is September 21st, which it was 2 weeks before that, but now it's going to be the 21st. And it's really because there's a lot of confusion from the teachers. The teachers are not ready, the schools are not ready, and they're really trying to figure out exactly how to manage this year. They have it for the most part, but there's still kinks because all of this is brand new to everybody, you know. So, we've been trying to just, my sons at this point, in the beginning, it's like, I want to go to school, or I don't want to go to school. And then now they're like, "Kids, send me to school." They're tired of homeschooling,
Right.
So it's getting just adjusted. And I feel for some of the people who have several kids, can't manage them all. And the kids are falling behind in schoolwork because this experience has just taken everybody out of their comfort zone and presented new challenges. So it's a difficult time. And I guess we're just trying to figure it out. With my sons, I'm just now trying to get them reacclimated to getting in the school mind state to get their math on point and their reading on point and their writing back on point after taking a 2 month hiatus. And just brushing up on the math skills so that, you know, they're up to tune and up to the time with the rest of the kids who are in the class.
And like you said, he's your son is very lucky to have a parent that's involved, that cares like you. Because some parents, they're either too busy or they just don't really care, or they might not even know the material themselves. So those
Right.
kids are really gonna be like on their own, and like you said, falling behind. And I don't know. I feel like they might have to just redo this whole year next year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're gonna push the kids up a grade because they know they kind of screwed up. But I'm sure the curriculum is gonna involve a lot of the previous year's work. So if you're in the seventh grade going to the eighth, I'm sure it will be picking up a lot of seventh grade work because they have to strengthen you because not everybody was able to manage properly. And the
Right.
teachers didn't know how to handle the kids at home and stay on top of them. And you can't necessarily blame the kid who may live in unforeseen circumstance in a house. You don't know what's going on in that house. So if the kid is usually an 85, uh, testing kid, and now they're at 65, you don't want to really give this kid a bad score because it might not be their fault. So the whole thing is now on a curve. You got to grade on a curve and really
Right.
figure it out and just kind of keep pushing these kids through. You can't leave a kid back if they didn't turn in homework or didn't turn in work if you don't know what their house circumstances. So kids are
Exactly.
going to get pushed forward, and education is going to be a little behind, and it's a mess. It's a
Yeah, and
mess.
it's a lot of pressure on the parents. But you're helping parents with this nonprofit organization that you have, this event that you're doing on Friday. Could you talk a little bit about how you're going to be helping people in the school system in New York?
Absolutely. So I have a nonprofit called No Disrespect. We've been doing this for about 5 or 6 years, maybe a little longer. I'm not sure. Where we go into the schools and we try to teach conflict resolution, give out certain things that can help the kids, as well as information and knowledge, and just kind of touch them and show that we care. I try to use my platform at Hot 97 to be a voice. I remember when people used to visit my school when I was a kid, and that stayed with me. So I try to do the same thing and show that, look, somebody from this station that you listen to all the time is coming to visit you today. So this Friday in Brooklyn, it's called Back to School, and we're giving away items that kids may need, whether they're at home or whether they're going to school. So we have book bags, we have pencils, rulers, contractors, calculators, tablets, headphones. Headphones is key if you're homeschooling. I had a friend of mine who she had two kids and they had both of them homeschooling as well as her trying to do her work. And she said headphones she didn't know was so key and essential because it just she didn't have enough in the house. It wasn't something that she thought about. And it was too loud and it was distracting for everybody to get what they needed to have done. So we're giving out headphones. We're giving out. There's a list of items. There's tons and tons of things. So it's while supplies last. So it's at 12 o'clock. It's this Friday. And it's at Rogers Avenue, which Bedford Avenue, if you're familiar, turns into Rogers Avenue as you go deeper into Brooklyn. It's at Rogers and Montgomery. You go to Rogers and Montgomery. We'll be outside. We'll be handing out everything that we have, and we're looking for contributors. If you can add more stuff to it, more book bags, more items, we're taking those too. You can DM me, Shani Culture, and I will let you know how to proceed in terms of being a part of this. If you want to volunteer and just give out the stuff that we have, we can use hands as well. You can do the same thing, DM me, and I'll give you the instructions on how to get down. So I just think it's important.
Absolutely. Now, what was your motivation to start your No Disrespect campaign? Like, where did the inspiration come from behind that?
The initial inspiration was Trayvon Martin. I felt
Mhm.
specifically connected to him because I was a young kid around his age, visiting my father in out of town, suburban towns, coming from the urban city. I grew up in Queens. And I know in hearing the story of him walking to a 7-Eleven, because there are no bodegas, so you have to go to a 7-Eleven or a gas station if you want to get anything, and walking down those dark, quiet suburban streets in unfamiliar territory, and you're wearing your hoodie because you wear the attire from your neighborhood, um, and you're not really grown. You look grown because you're tall and you're 17, and you move like you're grown because you don't want somebody to attack you. You're always on defense as a young black man, but you're not grown. You're still a kid, and there's still that fear inside. So I felt that. And when he was pursued and followed by Zimmerman and attacked by himself and feeling like he had to fight for his life and lost, that touched me in a different way. And as I started to speak to people, and Black Lives Matter was beginning at the same exact time, people were like, well, how do Black Lives matter only when somebody outside of your race is holding a gun? Meanwhile, when other Black kids kill other Black kids in our community, nobody is protesting, nobody is changing their profile pictures, nobody's hashtagging. Do Black Lives really matter? So I understood that they didn't understand the bigger picture, but I understood where they were coming from. And I knew that it would be hard for people to respect us and give us the respect that we want unless we're ready to take some accountability and watch what we're doing and start to respect ourselves in certain ways. So I created the No Disrespect campaign because we don't want to be disrespected. And in order to get respect, we have to give respect. So this is a call for all of us to pull on each other and stop when we see somebody doing something wrong. Stop the person from going the wrong route. And it takes each of us to be a part of that. So I go to the schools and I push the mantra in order to get respect, you have to give it. And to show them that being tough, I understand the survival of the fittest and you do have to get home. And I was one of those kids. But when you become an adult, you have to figure out how to evolve that because you're not going to get respect by being the tough one. You get respect when you go into an interview by being respectable and holding yourself a certain way. And a lot of times when they hear what I'm saying, it's not something that they haven't heard from their teacher or from their parents or from other elders, but they need to hear it as many times as they can from as many different people so that they know that this is the truth.
Right. They
It
probably
resonates.
look up to you, you being on their favorite radio station and all. So you never, they'll probably listen to you more than they might listen to like an older person telling them the same message.
Right. Because if they thinking that I'm cool because of the station, well, he's figured out how to be cool and he's talking about respect. He's not making it sound corny. So maybe there's something to this. He's saying the same thing my grandmother says, and he's working at High 97. So maybe there's something to that. So you're not going to catch everybody because I do these auditoriums of 300 kids. But if you can catch a few, then it's magic. So
Absolutely.
I
Making
hope
that.
to be a contributing factor.
Oh yeah. And I'm just like, just the impact, and even like you said, if it's just one or two or three kids, I mean, it's always something that you can really just feel, you know, good about. making any
Yeah,
type of difference at all.
yeah. And the thing is, one of the main things that I encourage is for the friends to help stop, because a lot of times when if there's three of you and one of you gets bumped into, it's the other two that's like, yo, what? You gonna be a sucker? You gonna let him talk to you like that? You gonna let him do you like that? It's the
Hmm.
friend's responsibility, if this is your true friend, to say, yo, we don't need that. Side, whatever, let him slide. Let's go. Even if the other person is like, what you want to do? You want to be the friend to say, yo, chill, let's be out. And it's not being a sucker. It's not being soft. It's actually being somebody who cares. So I have that conversation. One of the conversations that I have, it's a wrong one, but I'm gonna make it short. Was I asked the kids, if you're walking with your friends, there's three of you, and there's two other people coming in the other direction, and somebody bumps into your friend, what do you say as the friend? And one kid yelled out, I would yell, off that, yo, off him, and everybody started laughing. I said, all right, so you telling your friend, yo, off him, right? So, and that's the funny thing. Yeah, I said, it sounds funny. I said, but then now your friend gets into a fight because you encouraged him and he don't want to look like a sucker in front of you. And the other person he goes against has a knife and stabs your friend, and your friend dies. I said, now how do you feel? The whole auditorium got quiet. I said, so now here comes the mother. The mother's crying over her baby. She don't know what happened. The only person who was there was you. And she asked you, what happened to my son? I said, are you gonna tell are you gonna tell the mom that I said off him? He said no. I said, all right, so then who has to live with that for the rest of their life? He said me. So it started to change how people started to think about it, because the kids who thought it was funny didn't find it so funny when they found out the results of now this kid's life has been taken. And sometimes you have to draw those extreme measures for them to truly get it, because you can't sugarcoat it, because at this point the internet has shown the kids almost everything. And these kids have seen certain things themselves in person that are extreme. So I say, look, when this kid's life has ended, and you have to be the one to explain, do you want to explain that I tried to break it up and I tried to get us out of there, but it didn't work? Or do you want to say that we were gonna leave, but I'm the one who told him, nah, you you said it all. Do you want to live with that? And they don't want to live with that. So, a lot of times we do the things because we want approval and we want respect by our friends. We want approval by our friends. We want people to love us and think that we're strong, and sometimes strong is holding restraint. So I
Right.
push that message, and that is a part of the no disrespect campaign,
So do you have any advice for, young Black men if they do encounter a police officer? And, what advice would you give to a Black man as to how to not escalate a situation with involving cops?
that's such a heavy question, because I know the right thing to do, and at times I've done the wrong thing. So not to be hypocritical, I've been the person, as a dark skinned Black man, and as a dark skinned Black man, we catch it across the globe, every single continent. If you are a dark skinned Black man, you catch it the worst on every body of land on this planet.
Hmm.
So when the police step to me, I've been aggravated and frustrated. What are you doing? What, I didn't do nothing. It wasn't me. I fit the description. Get out of here. Get out of my face. Da, da, da. And that is not the way to approach it. Fortunately, I've been blessed to make it out of those situations. Um, but other times I've used my brain, and age and wisdom has come with that, to be able to try to de-escalate. You have to de-escalate the situation. You have to comply as much as possible. You don't want them to beat you up, but you want to, what do you need? Here's my ID, and give them what they need and talk to them in the most respectful manner. Because when they sense your calmness and they sense what you do, a lot of times I've always spoken on the work that I do. When you show them that you're a upstanding citizen, and when I say the work that I do, not Hot 97, I mean times when I was a kid. Yo, man, I work at Home Depot. I just was going home. I just came from my girlfriend's house, and kind of it is horrible that we have to go through this, right? That we have to go through. But I'm telling you, when they can see you as a human, because sometimes they don't see you as a human, they see you as a suspect, and they see you as somebody that they're about to take down, and they're scared of you. Most of the time, these police officers are scared of you. They're scared of us. They're scared of us. They're scared of us. They're scared of us. That is why they shoot us. That is why they attack first. If you can show them that you are human as possible, It will change the way they think in that moment. It has helped me many times with the police. I have shown them that I am human and talked my way out of situations. Yo, I just came, my friend is right there, came from my girlfriend's house. I just walked out. I'm just trying to get home. I work at this job when I worked at Foot Action. I work at Foot Action. Look, I'm just trying to, I'm not out here trying to cause no trouble, and not copping a plea, but just expressing to them, this is who I am. Whoever you think I am, I'm not the person you think that I am.
Hmm.
This is who I am. And a lot of times they rock out, and I've gotten off, and they've let me go. And I've seen it work many times, and I continue to do it. I talk to them like people, and I show them that I'm a person. If you show
Yeah.
them that you're a person and show your human side, they may start to look at you in that moment as a human being. A lot of times the videos that we see of these people who are attacked and killed, they're not looking at them as human beings.
Hmm.
And their cries aren't helping. Sometimes they're just playing, yo, what you doing to me, man? Get off me, da da da. And it gives them more fuel to the fire. Talk to them as if you're their peer, not in terms of disrespect, but their peer in terms of I'm a human just like you are. The same way they want to get home at night to their family, I gotta get home to my family. My mother's looking for me right now. Say stuff like that. My mother's looking for me right now. I gotta get home. So I was supposed to be home a half hour ago. Let them see something that is a little more real that they can connect to, that will kind of shake them out of their movement, and allow you to go on with your life. And again, it's a horrible thing that we even have to go through that. But I believe, like I said, because they fear us and they don't look at us as as humans when they're in that uniform, you have to let them know and show them that you are human.
Right.
And you're not just the black man that they think. You're a person. You're not a black man. You are a person who is connected to people and family and jobs who look for you. You have responsibilities. You have places to go. You have people who look for you. You have employers. You have cousins. You have a sister. You have somebody that you just left. And you have somebody that you're going to that is expecting you. It connects them. They know that they have places that they just left, and they know that their wife is expecting them to come home tonight. And when you appeal to them in that fashion, as I've had, and not in a crying fashion, but in just a direct fashion, like, yo, look, it's what it is. They rock out. I mean, I've seen it happen. I've
Yeah, that was
experienced
really
it
good
firsthand,
advice.
and you can get home. Let them know that you're a person, you're a human being, and you are a person, an individual. You're an individual. You're not just one of the cattle out here, or one of the sheep, or one of the lions where they're looking at you all the same. This particular lion is saying something different. I'm seeing him different for some reason. He said something that triggered, oh, this is an individual. Let's let him go. It may save your life.
Absolutely. It absolutely may, because that's like the best piece of advice I've ever heard someone give as to how to not get on their bad side. I feel like that should be something they need to start teaching in schools, to be honest, because
Yeah,
it's really affecting everyone. It doesn't matter where you live or where you're from. Like, there's something that is sweeping the whole nation in terms of just the police brutality towards Black men.
hmm
Um, but I would like to know, before I let you go today, I would like for you to give us the story of how you got into your position on Hot 97.
yeah. The thing is, I come from a musical family, right? So my grandmother was a concert pianist. She played at Carnegie Hall. I grew up with 3 grand pianos in my house in Queens. She used to teach different kids throughout the neighborhood. My sisters danced at Alvin Ailey and Bernice Johnson and all these different things. I grew up making steel pans. So music has always been a part of my life and was something that I wanted to pursue, in terms of a career and making money at it. So I took on my own independent ventures in the underground of New York City, because Manhattan is where everything happens. And I started to, instead of looking for people to put me on, I started to create my own opportunities and talking to managers to create showcases and create MC battles that people can compete against each other, and people can do their poetry and they can sing or display whatever they have, but really to bring attention to myself as the host, so that people would know, hey, Shani Culture is the place you go for a place to perform. because I knew what it was like on the other end looking for those opportunities. And I would say, for people who are trying to get on, try to create something around what you really want to do. Find your purpose and your passion and create something. Go for it and do it. Right. So I wanted to work either at a record label and a radio station, and I filled out applications for both, and I ended up getting called back for Hot 97, but it wasn't Hot 97. MS Communications at the time, they had a station called CD 101, Smooth Jazz, underneath that umbrella that was in the same building. And I was working for the street team for the Smooth Jazz station, but I was still doing these big hip hop events underground. And I guess somebody from the station ended up at one of my events, and the events used to be packed from wall to wall. And they wanted to do this big MC battle on the Summer Jam stage. And I guess in one of their meetings, somebody said, there's a guy who works on the street team at the station who does them. And they're very good, and it's exciting. So they found me and they called me and they said, hey, would you be able to do one of those battles that you do on your own for us at Summer Jam? So I was like, what? Hell yeah. So I jumped at the opportunity, and they say when opportunity meets preparedness, is when things happen. And it just so happened I was extremely prepared because it was what I was doing every single week on a Wednesday. I had two showcases, one Wednesday and one Sunday, in the same week. So I created this big battle, and I bought T-shirts, and I had a New Jersey team, 6 MCs, and I had a New York team of 6 MCs, and I gave them shirts, and they all wore my logo so that I could get the branding for it on the shirt. But one was green and the other one was red, and I made New Jersey compete against New York because Hot 97 is a New York station, but Summer Jam takes place at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. So I made it a competition that I knew people would be excited about. And they say, is New Jersey going to win or is New York going to win? So, it made 60,000 people roar every time one of these MCs did something huge. And it was a big battle sponsored by Heineken, and it was $500,000 that they had sponsored. And I helped to seal that deal and close the deal. So once I did that, it resonated in the station. Who is this guy? How does he even work for us? We never seen him before. And that kind of gave me a name and a position where they called me up a month later and said, yo, do you want a full-time job doing the morning show? I never even listened to the morning show. I stay up all night and sleep until about 11 o'clock at that point. I'm nocturnal by nature. So of course I wouldn't deny the opportunity. I said, yeah, I'm gonna do the morning show. And I went in there, and the first week I was like, this is not gonna work. One, I was dead tired, and I didn't like the energy, and I just didn't want to do it. So I told the boss, I'll give it a week. I'm not gonna leave today, but I don't know if this is the one for me. Maybe there's something else you can give me. And he was like, just ride out for a little while. But 15 years later, I'm still here, and I've seen a lot of people come and go. But I guess this is a part of my journey, and I've been allowed to now have a voice. I started out as just an on-air engineer when they asked me to do it, just to work the boards, and I worked the boards. But now I've created that space where I'm a personality, and people hear my voice and they appreciate what I have to offer. And I've been able to use that platform to do things in the world the way I was doing it when they first found me, and create underground things that resonate and give people platforms, to fulfill their dreams. So,
Any advice for a young person who might want to take the same path as you?
man, I think in anything that you do, you have to do it on your own. Especially in this day and time, because of Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, the industry wants to see what kind of numbers you generate on your own. What is it that you do that the people who already follow you and love what you do, what makes them want to share it? What makes them want to say, okay, you know what? We love what you do, and more people need to see this. Because if you can't generate that type of uh, energy behind you, then what company is going to feel like they want to invest in you because you don't bring in? We didn't have those same internet luxuries when I was doing it 15 years ago. Like I said, I had MySpace and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in the same fashion, the person called me because when they came to my event, it was packed. So that was my numbers. That was the same as my Instagram numbers or my followers. I was generating a attention and energy the same way people do on Instagram. I was doing it with live bodies, and I was bringing people every week, and you couldn't hardly get in. You could hardly breathe. The place was hot. The bar was packed, and it was like, this guy is generating numbers. People must be talking about it, and that's what made them say, "Can you do what you do on your own for us in front of 60,000 people?"
Mm-hmm.
And because I was already generating that type of attention and energy, they did it. Now those numbers show on the internet. So if you can generate numbers and attention in a way that they see that you are valuable, then companies will want you to be a part of their team. So you have to be independent and strong enough to figure out what is going to make the people talk about you and what is going to be a platform that people want to tell other people about. And I was able to create that, fortunately. And in this day and age, you have a little more competition because the
A
internet is
little
global.
more.
The internet is a global space, so now anybody can do it. So you have to be extra unique in
Yes.
what you do. You can't just have a radio show, or you have to be something that is semi-pioneering and different. There's got to
Yeah.
be a twist to what you do. So if
Mm-hmm.
everybody is doing radio, then, in terms of interviews or radio shows on the internet, you have to have something to yours that makes you different, that brings people to your thing, you know. And that's what, let's say even Versus was able to do.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing interviews, and everybody was doing, as soon as quarantine hit, DJs was all doing live things. It was like, well, what if we put one DJ against another? Nobody is doing that. It's the same thing people are doing, but a little twist.
Mm-hmm. And
And
look at
so
their success, and in no time too. They are like immediate success.
yeah, and their relationships and their own personal branding, of course, helped it. But it's the entertainment value. It had a twist on it that was like, yo, this is kind of dope. People love
Mm-hmm.
competition. Same reason I did the MC. People love to see who was going to win. It's been since the time we were in the fifth grade and you heard there was a fight on the corner. You ran over there. Oh, because you want to see who's gonna win. People love
Win. Yep.
competition. That's why there's X Factor, American Idol. That's why there was Star Search. It's
Mhm.
just people love competition. So if you can create a space that triggers people's natural emotion, you might have something that brings the people to you and get the attention that you're looking for. And I created that with MC battles, not because I loved MC battles, but because I knew people would want to root for one or the other.
Mhm. All right. Well, Shani Culture, thank you so much for joining us, taking the time out your busy schedule. I know you got to get
Absolutely.
up early in the morning tomorrow. So please just leave us with
Yeah.
all your contact information. And for anyone who wants to donate or contribute anything at all to your cause, please let us know how we can find you.
Yeah, look for me, Shani Culture, on all internet platforms, Shani, Shani, and then Culture with a K, all together, one word, or you can look up the Culture Movement, spell Culture with a K, you'll find me. And you can DM me, email me, whatever it is, and I'll let you know how you can either be a volunteer. Remember, this Friday, this is the first Friday of September, 2020. This Friday, we'll be giving it away, and we'll be doing another one in a couple of weeks as well. But this Friday, we'll be giving away book bags, pencils, rulers, calculators, tablets, headphones, and anything else you could think of that will help people who may be unemployed and can't afford those things for their kids this coming school year. We're giving it away. DM me, and I'll let you know how you can volunteer so you could be an extra hand. Or if you have something that you want to contribute that you think parents can use, then you can also DM me, and I'll show you how you can contribute the things that you have so that these kids can get what they need. Shani Culture or the Culture Movement. Either way, you can find me.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope that you get home safely, and I will definitely be in touch because I would love
Yes,
to be a part of this movement that you have going on with this nonprofit organization. And I really respect what
absolutely,
you're doing in the community.
absolutely. Thank you so much. And yeah,
Thank
let's talk.
you. Yes,
Let's exchange and get on the phone and figure out how we can continue to work together because that's the bottom line and the key. We need unity. So anything we could do,
absolutely.
let's do it. Yeah.
All right. All right. Now you have a good one.
Yeah, you too. All right.
All
Joy
right. Peace.
daily. Poke, 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 poke. All right. Love, sis.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Later, you too.